Hello there everyone and welcome back to the Brightworks and another match beyond all reason. Today I thought it'd be an interesting time to take a look at what some of the pros are doing. Today specifically we'll be looking at our red team leader, a Cortex commander that goes by the name of Delphi, going to be playing on DSDR and showing us what they've got. And already starting off with some very standard stuff, so we'll check back in just a second after we meet our blue team leader, who is also a Cortex commander and goes by the name of Carlson. Now, a side note, I managed to fix my controls. Apparently, you have to change your UI keys. If you use the same pattern as I do, which there's a little guide to in the Brightworks Discord channel. It's pinned to the main channel in case you're curious about it. But anyways, in case you're curious, you have to change it to legacy keys, legacy_ keys instead of, I believe it was default. Anyways, over here, 4 wind turbines directly into a bot lab. I wanted to focus a little bit heavier on the top level player, try and maybe give a better perspective of exactly what that early game build order looks like on especially one of the most competitive maps that there is. The pros seem to really love this map, despite it being imbalanced was brought to my attention. Apparently it's actually fairly well staggered towards the left-hand side, but I suppose it's so popular that people pretty much 50-50 manage to play on one side or the other. So you win half of them and you lose half of them, which I guess balances it out. I don't know. Somebody can do the math right there and tell me that I'm wrong, because I'm almost certain that I am. Now we're going for Grunt first. Immediately into a constructor. And my goodness, we've queued up quite a few constructors here. 7 constructors in total. We've got 5 grunts interspersed between all that. We're going to pay attention to exactly the build order that the blue commander goes, even if it does mean we miss a little bit here. I do see a transport flying across the map right now for the green commander, Boo, who has pumped that out extremely quickly. Well, they didn't pump it out. The backline air player, Nakvami, has pumped it out right here. NOK VMI, however it's pronounced. The battle blue commander has handed over a transport right there. Lovely stuff. Does mean the green commander is going to be right on top. Now we've handed over a T1 constructor. Interesting. Are we going to hand this to... Oh no. Okay. Not sure exactly what we're going for. I guess some build power on the front lines to help Delphi out. Interesting spot. Yeah, Ural is in the backline, or usually in the spot that would tech, so maybe just going to help pump out units right now for the red commander. There's those grunts coming out, the 5 of them that we saw queued up right here. We do have an air scout flying around as well, going to reveal the enemy's position. Grandmaster K31 has spent quite a lot of time building up these metal extractors right here, so their start is quite a bit slower, as opposed to, as you can see, Delphi, who already has all of these up and running here, trying to goad the red commander into maybe building the turret there so that we can help support each other. Interesting choice. A little bit of shenanigans as far as eco support goes. We're switching into thugs at this point here. We're going to go for 5 thugs and then into 2 more constructors. This one is going to start building wind turbines in the backline, and it looks like the commander, after it's finished, is going to continue building wind turbines as well. Average wind speed on this map looks like it's 11.9. Not terrible. Not terrible. Not the greatest. There's certainly maps with higher wind speeds, but 11.9 is not the end of the world. I think at that speed, it's efficient for Cortex. I think 6 is where you draw the line for Cortex. Right now, though, ooh, everybody is hurting. 1 wind speed, tremendously unfortunate right now for the entire, well, the entire lobby, really. Everybody pretty much relies on that early wind speed. Zipping around the map right here to find these grunts that are running amok. Going to find a thug right now for Grandmaster K311. However, these thugs, or pardon me, the grunts rather, do manage to find a resbot. Now this is a really nice snipe right here. Taking out this resbot seems like one little trade, but it does shut down a lot of that reclaim right here, especially all the metal, but also a lot of those plants and whatnot that provide the energy for some of these commanders. The boss in a little bit of trouble here as well. Yeah, support from the teammate with those blitzes, trying to clean a lot of this up, but there is 1 medium tank that went on a breakaway, and we'll get into the backline. There's medium tanks produced right now to try and support all this, but of course, medium tank versus medium tank is not a quick battle to resolve. About 5% damage per shot. Going to take quite a while. 20 connected shots, I guess, would be the number specifically. But as we all know, oftentimes those medium tanks do not connect their shots. All right, thugs across the map, and that seems to be the preferred method of movement right here for Delphi. The construction turret has been set up. Oh, I see what we did. Okay, so we built the construction turret and then moved it to the low ground here to build the geothermal. Interesting. So Delphi opting to hand that geothermal off to the eco player, essentially saying, hey, if you're going to eco for us, you might as well eco us even harder than normal. Gives up the really efficient geothermal in favor of a slightly weaker front line, although it's not like this army is having too much trouble on the front. Those thugs are going to be quite powerful once they get engaged with the thugs right here of Grandmaster. Basically a mirror matchup up on the northern side. Abuse had plenty of time to set this area up, although not a lot of LLTs up here, actually. Yeah, I guess foregoing a lot of the production in the backline right here because Of course, your commander represents the majority of your build power here, and so Milk Toast, which is a terrible, terrible idea. I cannot recommend dunking your toast in milk, but anyways, Milk Toast here, going to at the very least be taking down some of those static defenses. More LLTs coming up right here for Boo. Unfortunately, a single D-gun could take those out pretty easily, so you do have to be careful about that. Oh, nice micro right here, too. This is the kind of pro-level micro that I'm talking about. So our red commander, you can see pulling back the weakened thugs and making sure that they stay off the combat zone, while the more astute, more resolute ones manage to move forward. Ural also stepping forward right here, effectively making this a 2 versus 1, kind of. Essentially just denying that no pressure has to be dealt with from this northern side, while also transporting the constructor around. This is so cheeky, but sending this little construction turret around really does help quite a lot. I love that so much. Okay, so now Ural is in the backline right here. There's not really enough at this point in the game to shut this down. Now with the Grandmaster trying to hold off the front lines while also worried about the commander in the back, we're even going to start up a bot lab. Cheeky, cheeky. Okay, so we're going for a bot lab in the back here, a very aggressive playstyle as opposed to what would normally be a very tame eco play, right? Go for your fusion, go for your Aethys. That sort of standard stuff that we usually see, instead opting for a much more aggressive play. There we go. Using that capture command to claim the wind turbines rather than blow this all up. Very, very nicely done. For one reason being that oftentimes people won't actually notice that. It's very, very difficult to notice this because you get the notification about something being destroyed, and obviously you're going to notice an explosion, but you may not necessarily notice when you're when your units just suddenly stop listening to your controls. You just can't hear them anymore. Comms go silent. Resbots to make this extremely nice right here. This is that bread and butter composition that all Cortex commanders want to get to. In that early game, you have enough resbots to sustain everything, and then of course you have enough firepower in those thugs to blast down even commanders. Let's see Grandmaster suffering greatly right here from the firepower of those thugs. 9, 6, 4, 1, boom goes the commander. All that metal ripe for the reclamation right there. Ural's still going on a tear, capturing whatever he can over here. All the thugs have been pulled off the front line to deal with this commander. Oh, some killer D-guns right there, wiping out half that composition of thugs. That is just brutal. At this point, medium tanks pushing through, and plenty of pings right here from Alex Speed to try and get the attention of his teammates. I think everybody's well aware, but doesn't have a great solution right now. The purple commander are going to be sending missile trucks. Oh no, missile trucks definitely not going to be enough to solve that medium tank crisis right there. We did see a commander explosion over here as that LLT apparently took down... Oh no, pardon me, it was a commander trade actually. Commander trades all over the place. Alright, so Ural takes out the entire base right here for Grandmaster, denying that player any further attempts in this game. No further constructors or anything like that are going to be part of this game, while we do have production coming up on the top hand side. And then of course we have these resbots eating up all the juicy metal from the commander in green, who did sacrifice himself to stop the 43 true skill red team leader from going on an absolute tear. Here come the grunts running on in here. Perfect choice for going up against the lone protectorate, the Rocketeer, trying desperately to keep things together right now. Pawn's going to be spammed out at this point as well, but there's no chance that they're going to be able to keep up with the overwhelming majority of metal coming out right now from the backline. T2 is up and running. We do have emergency fiends being pumped out. We have emergency T2 production on full scale right now as these fiends start up and are going to start running across the battlefield. Will they be efficient enough to clean all this up? I don't know. 1, 2, essentially 3 bases down right here. The reason this works, of course, being that this match was effectively a 1, 2, 3, 4 versus 6. With the back team, the backline player right here, supporting extremely well in the fronts, as opposed to normally going up for eco right here. So it's essentially the difference of 2 different strategies. A very, very aggressive early game strategy in order to counter a very slow default standard strategy. It's the kind of thing that you can exploit once you're really familiar with the game, once you understand the mechanics, once you understand what the enemy team should go for based on just fundamentals. And it's exactly the kind of read that I love to see these pros taking advantage of. Much more stock standard battle on the bottom here, and I always want to remind people that they're more than welcome to go look at these replays after the fact. Most of these replays are taken from my Discord channel, so you can always find them there, or if not, you're more than welcome to just go look at the bar website, of course, and type in the names, and eventually you'll be able to find it. In case you want to see some other perspectives, I'm focusing very heavily on the red team leader, just because I want to see what the best of the best can do when they know exactly what they're doing on a map that they're very well familiar with. There we go. Self-D and all this to deny it, going back to the red commander, trying to slow the progress of an already tremendously fast-paced build over here. The T2 lab stays up and running right now, and there we go. T2 gunslingers start coming out. This is a great time to build gunslingers. It's been a work of art trying to figure out how to use gunslingers effectively recently, and certainly one use case would definitely be in the early T1 to T2 transitory phases. You know what I'm trying to say. Constructor transported up here. The Fiend's coming in to try and settle this down. Oh, we gotta land the commander. Okay, commander has landed. D-gun, D-gun, D-gun. Oh no, oh no, oh, down he goes. Commander blown apart by a whole bunch of Fiends, taking out the T2 lab right there. Everybody laughing in the chat because that was hilariously unfortunate for the red team who managed to set up an entire T2 lab up there only for it to be shut down by their own commander's explosion. Yikes. Still though, not the end of the world. I mean, we have the grunts running into the backline here. Advanced Solar starting to come under fire. This is an air player here, so not much to defend. Those poor, unfortunate solar panels build right next to the highly explosive energy converters. And it looks like indeed our powder blue player will tap out of the game here, frustrated with the lack of ability to protect themselves, yields their force and their commander and everything else, and decides to leave the match here. The Fiends are extremely efficient against all of this, but so far, the lines are holding. There is an advantage right here on the middle. Only hope, cries out the green commander, and I think I agree. I think if Bew might be onto something here. I think if Demerds, the purple commander here, manages to get some really good trades. I mean, it's not even like a super fast composition for trading either, though. This is the kind of composition, it's just missile trucks and Janices. It's the kind of composition that slowly but surely takes over as they just take one efficient fight after another. Not a very quick way to address all this. And with the ever-present threat of the red commander marching along in the backlines here, this is definitely becoming a problem. Blue commander may not have realized it, but this commander was cloaked. He took it over and moved it, and while it's moving and while it's cloaked, it's using 1,000 energy right here, probably wondering where the hell all of his power is going into that commander that was moving around while cloaked over here. Big commander explosion on the southern side, peeling away from the red because I do see a T2 transition up there, but for the time being, it's mostly just spamming grunts in here. Lime green commander trading out against the brown commander on the southern side right here, or the tan commander, pardon me, Ritual. Going to mean that at least for the very time being, medium tanks are going to have some precedence on the field, pardon me. Purple commander will go down eventually, by the way. Brought low by the forces of maroon and hot pink. And as more and more of these forces begin to mount, and less of them can mount with the economies crumbling in the backline here, this is very rapidly turning on the heads of the blue team. You can see the production, which is the light white bar up here on the right-hand side, is essentially even. Or the metal extraction is essentially even. However, the reclaim value is tremendous for the red team, and that's all those T2 labs and whatnot, all those advanced solar wreckages up in the top right-hand corner going down. We did just see this commander going down right here on screen as well, as just a whole bunch of pawns and ticks and rocketeers and grunts and you name it all move forward right here from the green and cyan blue commander. Both of them in tandem managed to blow up that commander, so that is quite nice. Shutting down these metal extractors as well, denying as much of that eco advantage as possible. But you can see as these metal extractors come up right here for the yellow commander, we are slowly seeing an advantage growing, mounting, and eventually causing problems. We have a mine layer coming out here, the Twitcher, the combat engineer, going to throw down some of those medium mines, probably to try and snipe any of these Fiends that get a little too aggressive. Really cheeky play. One of those really easy things to forget, one of those things that the pros will totally remember to keep in their back pocket here, as we can see. There's the, oh, excellently trying to steal the mechs right there. It's cloaked, but a friendly unit should be able to see it. We have a medium tank coming through. Resign vote is called right there from the blue team, as only 1, 2, 3, and 4 bases remain. And just like that, they throw in the towel from overwhelming pressure from the red team. An extremely quick match, but damn if it wasn't a good one right there. Showing us that it's good to know what your enemy might be going for. This is that map awareness, that sort of map knowledge that you just can't get other than a whole lot of experience. So I do appreciate taking a look at it every once in a while. Sure, I hope you enjoy it as much as I do, and I will see you in the very next game of Beyond All Reason. Why is it clipping into the map like that? Oh, weird. Anyway.